Alright guys, JT with JT Gaming here, and today we will be reviewing Spellbreak for Xbox. Alright guys, let's just get right into it. So, quick overview of Spellbreak. It's a new Battle Royale, came out on September 3rd, that has you take the place of wizards or mages, however you care to delegate, but it's a fun kind of new twist on the current militaristic Battle Royale market. So, you are a wizard, mage, and you have magic spell gauntlets that allow you to use certain kinds of elements. So whether it be stone, lightning, fire, poison, ice, or wind, you have the ability to control these elements and use them to defeat your enemies. So every spell gauntlet has a main attack, which is mapped for Xbox to your right trigger, and it's the one you can kind of use more often, although it still does deplete your mana gauge. And then every spell gauntlet is paired with big kind of ticket weapon, the sorcery. So for stone, for example, you throw a large rock. For fire, you set up a firewall. And these abilities are set on a cooldown. So you can't just spam these larger, more powerful abilities, but you can use them to affect the fight, get yourself out of trouble, block a path, or things like that. Another great thing about Spellbreak is that these spell gauntlets and these elements can interact with each other in really cool ways. So you have the ability to put a toxic cloud down and then light it on fire for a large explosion that does a lot of damage with that fire and poison mix as it blasts out. I think these interactions are really cool. It helps you build cool combos between your spell gauntlets, and it allows the fight to be a little bit more dynamic, I think. With the spell gauntlets, you do start with one right off the bat. So you pick and choose the main spell gauntlet that you're going to go into the fight with. And as you level up in that spell gauntlet, you will get other perks and things like that to make that spell gauntlet a little bit more effective. And I know some people dislike that or may dislike that because it can kind of give people a leg up. And in a battle royale, usually it's just about what you find. And it's sort of frustrating to have people come in already maybe a little bit better than you or more properly put together, but it's a nice change of pace because you actually get to level up and grow your character how you want to as you go into that battle royale instead of starting fresh every single time. So you have your main hand, then you find your offhand through looting. Depending on what you pick your main hand as to go in with, you cannot change that one out, but you can upgrade it in the sense that if you find a better version of that same gauntlet, then you can pop that one in and it'll make your main hand stronger. And then obviously, depending on what combo you want to run, depends on what you find while you're looting once you drop in. Speaking of dropping in, the drop-in system is actually pretty cool. So like most Battle Royale games, you do load into the initial gathering the player's room, where there is equipment and things to loot and find and play around with, and you can fight with people. Then the map opens up, and you have specific drop spots that you pick, which means you can link up with your team if you're in squads, or if you're playing solo, you just choose. But I think one of the cool things about it is you can actually see where other people are dropping, and the density at which other people are dropping in a certain area, depending on the color of certain drop zones. So you'll know kind of going in if you are looking for a fight right off the bat, or maybe you want to avoid people, loot, and get yourself together before you get into those fights. You can pick a less populated drop zone. And it's kind of nice to know what you're going to drop into, because I know it can be frustrating when you drop into a Battle Royale game after finally loading up and you just immediately get killed because there's 100 people around you and you still have your pistol out, for example. It's kind of nice to be able to control that initial portion of the match without having to have to rely on a flight path for some kind of vehicle to get you into a certain spot that you want to go to. Although they do move around a little bit, and they're not always the same, so you can't necessarily drop in the same spot every time, but you can kind of get into those areas, and you still do drop from the sky, which gives you the ability to, get where you need to go. And like most Battle Royales, once you hit the ground, you gotta start looting. And looting in this game is, I think, fairly streamlined, and it's in a pretty good spot. So you have 3 pieces of equipment. You have a ruin slot, your offhand spell gauntlet, spell scrolls that'll increase your abilities that you kind of get and customize as you level up, and there's also health potions as well as armor shards or armor potions. The necklaces is going to give you extra mana to use. You can cast spells more. The belt is going to give you the ability to have more armor, and boots are going to let you move a little bit faster, while the spell ruins are actually going to allow you to do certain things on a cooldown, like fly, dash, teleport, become invisible, and things like that. which can just add up to your full kit depending on what kind of combo you want to run. And then you have the ability to pick up a offhand spell gauntlet. So if you go with stone, for example, you can pick up a fire gauntlet or a frost gauntlet or whatever other gauntlet you want to pair that with. The spell scrolls are just a little bit of a boost to your talents that you kind of customize. So if you have a spellcasting speed upgrade talent on, if you find spell scrolls, it'll bump that up. So say it's 15% and it'll go to 17 or it'll go to 20, and it just kind of gets your talents a little bit better. So you get a little bit of a better boost from the talents that you already have equipped. It's also nice because it doesn't let you pick up anything that's worse than what you have on. So if you have the belt, boots, necklace, and your belt is, say, purple, and you find a blue one and you're not paying attention, it's not going to really let you pick that blue belt up if you already have a blue belt or better. So it's nice you can kind of spam the pickup button as you run through things. It's not really going to mess you up too much because it's not going to allow you to pick up worse things. Although you can swap out worse gauntlets for a different kind of gauntlet because maybe you have a legendary frost one, but you really want to have toxic. You can do that. You just have to hold the swap, but it's not going to just happen really rapidly. You're not going to be able to just throw away good things and pick up bad things, which I think is nice and helps you loot a lot faster and keep your eyes kind of around so you don't get killed while you're trying to figure out if this belt is better than the belt you have on or those boots are better. Another thing I like about this game is the pacing seems really good. It's really quick. So you're not always going to be in fights, but the matches go fairly fast, and they're not super populated. So you're not fighting 100, 150 people. It's usually like 40, and the matches go fast. So you're in and out of your matches, whether you win or lose. There's not a lot of sitting around, and I think that's nice. Change of pace, so you don't have to wait around for forever. You can just kind of exit out, play again, no big deal. And the matches go quick, and even if you die early, your squad mates continue playing. You're not going to feel like you're waiting for 30 minutes. The ability to have a fun time while also not waiting around the whole time, I think is something that some Battle Royales don't really hit the mark on, and I think Spellbreak does a really good job. Speaking of squads, we do have solo, duos, and trios or squads now. So you can play with 1, 2, or 3 people. Jumping in solo, there's going to be 40 people playing by themselves, so on and so forth. And at launch, they didn't have all 3 of these options, but I'm glad that they kind of fixed that and remedied that situation about 2 weeks after launch, just because everyone should be able to play how they want to play. So if you're a solo player, you should be able to play solo and not have to jump in with random squad mates while you're fighting people who are all talking to each other or all play together all the time. I just think that you should have the ability to play these games how you want to. I know initially Warzone was kind of weird and wishy-washy where it went back and forth between what modes it was going to allow. And it's nice to see that Spellbreak so far has solo, duos, and trios added in, and doesn't seem like they're going to change that anytime soon. Talking about the gameplay in this story, so far there's not really too much story, anything ingrained. There is a tutorial mission, but other than that, it's kind of just your standard Battle Royale with magic. Although they have said they do want to add story-driven content in the future, depending on the initial reception of this current game mode. They may add different game modes in the future, which I think is really nice to hear, that they're going to continue to support the game, and there's going to be things for kind of everyone to play. Even if you don't love Battle Royales, maybe the other game mode will be enjoyable. I have seen people saying that the system may have been better in a more, CSGO or Rogue Company Valorant style, where it's a 5-on-5 elimination type match. But I enjoy Battle Royales to a point, and I think this one's a lot of fun, but I really would love to see a new game mode, because like I said, I think gamers should be able to play games how they want to. Alright, so those are just kind of my quick thoughts, overviews on Spellbreak, but let's get into some pros and cons. It is a different take on the Battle Royale. It's a lot of fun, and it's a lot different, although at its heart it is a Battle Royale. So pro, it's a different kind of Battle Royale, so if it's a game style you like, this one is a fun change of pace. On the flip side of that coin, if you don't like Battle Royales, this one's probably not going to change your mind, because it really is, at its base, a Battle Royale game. The loot system is really easy, although it does seem daunting at times. Once you kind of get into it, figure it out after a match or two, it really does become easy and pretty intuitive. The graphics on this game, I think the style that they went with is really good. It's not too much on your screen. The style really works for the type of game that it is, although sometimes the layout in the land can seem a little bit samey. Other than that, I think the graphics really work. And I love that this game is fast-paced. I never felt like I was just wasting time, or I was just sitting around, or I was looting to die immediately. It's a nice, fast-paced Battle Royale with magic. And I think that the ability to do different kinds of magic and meld those combos together makes the game a lot of fun. Although I will say, It does still require a little bit of skill. So if you don't like to play Warzone because the first-person shooter aspect of it isn't for you, you do sometimes have to lead your shots, depending on what kind of spells you use. There is the Frost spell, which essentially is like the sniper rifle class that is operating essentially like a sniper rifle class, although it's a little bit cooler because you're shooting a bow and arrow made of ice. It's a fun battle royale. I think it has room to grow. A couple things I don't like about it though. The cosmetic options are fairly weak. So far in the store, nothing's really piqued my interest, and it is a little bit frustrating that you kind of have to buy a full skin. You don't really get to customize each part of your character, so if you buy a skin, like that's the skin you're going to be wearing, like the full set, and that's really the only option. Although I think as it grows and changes, there will be an increase in kinds of cosmetics and things like that. And because there's cosmetics and the game is free to play, there are microtransactions. I haven't really seen them kind of predatory. They're in the game. If you want to use them, then go ahead and use them. If not, you don't really have to. And you do get some of the premium currency as you level up in the game, which I think is a really nice touch. You will have to save for a while to get some of those cooler, nicer skins, but you have the ability to not spend real money and get a skin you want if you just save up. Also, it's nice as you level up in that main spell that you want to use, you actually get some cosmetics for that as well, which I think is nice. So you have the ability to get some of these cosmetics through progression in the game. And I think that's one of the things that some of these other microtransactions will miss. I like the ability to gain some of these cosmetics without always having to spend money. As you level up, you get new character cards, you can get new accessories for your character, you get some new abilities, and you can get some in-game premium currency. Spellbreak does a lot right, and I think if they stick to it and they listen to their player base's feedback, I think this Battle Royale could really make a go of it. You know, there's a lot of them that come in and die because they don't have a proper player base, although I think they could have bumped the marketing budget up a little bit. I didn't really know too much about it until it was on my screen as a free-to-play game on Xbox. Now, I tracked it a little bit, but that was kind of on my own, and I wasn't really sure when it was definitively coming out. But this game is fun. It's a fun Battle Royale. It's a little bit of a twist. The magic combinations make it cool, fresh, fun. And I think this game can be really good. This game needs to clean up some things, maybe offer a couple more options in the cosmetics if they do plan on using these microtransactions to get some money in. But it's fun, and it's free to play. If you like Battle Royales and you kind of like this new twist, I would definitely check it out. Honestly, you're going to lose nothing by checking it out. I'd recommend it. I play it, and I play it on stream every once in a while. It's fun, and it's fun, especially when you're playing with your buddies and you guys are all using different kinds of spells because you can kind of combo them together. So it's really a free-to-play Battle Royale with magic. I mean, there's things that aren't great about it. There's things that are great about it. I would definitely check it out. It's free on Xbox. It's on PC. It's on PlayStation. Although it's on Nintendo Switch. Unfortunately, I have heard there's some performance issues on the Nintendo Switch, frames dropping and things like that when things get a little bit hectic. I can't speak to that. I've only played it on Xbox so far. But just keep that in mind if you do end up picking up on the Switch, that I have heard there are some performance issues, although on Xbox it runs great. So, it's free to play. I would definitely recommend checking it out. Although if you don't like Battle Royales, maybe stay away from this one. But listen guys, if you like this review and want to see more like it, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to ask any follow-up questions, feel free to comment below. Or come hang out when I'm live on Twitch, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday night, plus Saturday mornings. Twitch link down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.